Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison and today I am doing the small booktuber tag. So this one, there are a lot of really similar like new booktuber or small booktube tags out there, but this one I found, actually my friend sent me the link to it and I watched it and it was a really good video. It was done by the Reading Nymph and I will link her video below. I tried looking for the original and couldn't really find anything that was exactly like this one, so I think this tag might be like a shoot off from a different kind of booktuber newbie tag. But anyways, this tag is pretty short. It's only got 6 questions, so we're gonna just go ahead and get into it. The first question is, or the first prompt kind of thing is, introduce yourself. So my name is Allison and let's see, I have been married to my husband Aaron for almost 10 years. It will be 10 years in June. We have 2 boys. One is 8. He just turned 8, and the other one is 4. He will be 5 later this year. Our oldest son is Arlo. He is a very sassy, opinionated little person, and I know exactly where he got that from. And then Amos is the 4-year-old, and he is the most boyish boy I have ever met in my entire life. He is all in all the time. He never stops and keeps me on my feet constantly. We also have a fur kid. We have a kitty named Heimdall, and he is a pet that we rescued, or we got from a cat rescue 2 years ago now. So he's a pretty permanent addition into our life. The kids love him, and he was actually my birthday present to myself, and he went and bonded with my husband. So he, of course that's how it works. I pick out the cat. I'm the one that wants the cat, and the cat decides to love my husband instead. So that's super fun. Let's see, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I am also a homeschool mom, so I have been teaching my kids since day one. They've never been to any other school other than our kitchen table. I live in Michigan, which is not my favorite state in the US. We really would like to move to a state that is a little bit warmer at some point in the future, whenever that is, when it's the right time. So we live in Michigan, and it's just now starting to be spring outside, and it's super exciting. I so can't wait for it to warm up, but it is threatening snow on Monday, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see, other things about me. This is not my only YouTube channel. I also have another YouTube channel where I talk about planning, and I do some things with reading, but it's more like the planning, tracking type aspects of reading rather than like actually reading books. I don't really talk about that much on there. So yeah, if you guys are interested in like planning and like organizing your life, that channel would also probably interest you. And I have an Etsy shop where I sell right now digital, but hopefully sometime in the near future actual physical inserts for what you call the disc bound system, and I'm not going to get into that. If you're curious, you can just head over to that channel and see the videos that I have there. And what else is there to know about myself? Oh, I am 30 years old. I forgot to say that. I am 30. I just turned 30 last July, so this year I'm going to be 31, and that's terrifying but also exciting at the same time. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy my 20s because I felt like I was just flailing. Like, how do I even do this adult thing? So my 20s was spent figuring out how to be married and how to be a parent and lots of other things. So I'm hoping that my 30s will be a million times better than my 20s. It would be so nice to actually feel like I know what I'm doing rather than just looking like I know what I'm doing. So I think that's pretty much it for introducing myself. If you don't know, I am obsessed with coffee. we actually finally got a coffee grinder for the first time, so I've been buying like all of the coffee beans and grinding my own coffee beans, and I think it's the coolest thing ever. It's super silly, and I know like people have been doing it for thousands of years or whatever, but I think it's super fun, and I love grinding up the coffee beans and having like fresh coffee. It's so tasty. Anyways, the next question is, when did I start this channel? I started this channel in August 2020, but I had been wanting to start a booktube channel for a very long time, and in fact in 2019 I went and bought a camera and mic equipment and camera stands and microphone stands and lights. I went and bought like probably a good $1,000 worth of stuff, and then I was too scared to start. So this channel has been a really long time coming, and once I got started I was like, why did I worry about like all of this stupid nonsense? Like, why didn't I just start? But then at the same time, it probably wasn't the best time for me to start a YouTube channel. Like, I don't feel like I would have stuck with it because I would have just been so scared to make videos, and I still am. Like, even before I started filming this video I was like, I don't really want to do it, but I do. Like, I want to film, but then I'm just like, but what if? And I'm like, just stop it. Stop that nonsense and just do the video. It's gonna be fine. No one's going to care if you say something wrong or if you look funny or whatever. Like, seriously. And if they do care, that's what black is for. That's all I'm gonna say. So the next question is, question number 3 is, what kind of videos do I make currently? So currently I do book tags, I do TBRs for every month, and I was not doing wrap-ups, but I have started doing wrap-ups. I actually did for March and February. I did my February wrap-up and my March TBR in the same video, and that was actually really helpful for me because I don't have a lot of time where I can film. So I have to film when the house is quiet, because I don't know about you, but an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old and a husband are actually kind of loud, and our house is really small, so it's not like I can have like a basement with a room in it where I go and film and it's quiet or quieter. I just don't have that, so I have to film when no one is home. So filming that combo video of my February wrap-up and my March TBR was really helpful, and I think I'm going to continue doing that for the foreseeable future. Other videos I do for this channel are, sometimes I do unboxing videos, not a lot because I don't want my channel to turn into an unboxing channel. And then other things, what else have I filmed? Oh, a few weeks ago I filmed a video on the process I use to decide if I want to read a book or not. And then there's just, it's like a mix. So there's like TBRs and wrap-ups and haul videos, like book haul videos, and I usually only do those quarterly because I don't buy that many books. And then, what was the other thing? Helpful videos. Like I try to have a good mix of helpful videos with just fun videos, mix in like these book tag videos, and then, you know, whatever. So, what I would like to start filming is more vlogs. I did a vlog back in February of, was it February? No, it was January, I think, of a trip we took to IKEA, like getting new bookshelves and stuff and putting those together. So that was fun. I just have not picked up the camera and filmed or tried to film another vlog because for some reason I just don't feel like my life is that exciting enough to vlog, but maybe it is. Maybe you guys would like that. So that comes to question number 4. What do I love about Booktube? So the thing I love the most about Booktube is all of the book recommendations and all of the fun videos that people put out. I really like watching like top 10 fantasy books or whatever because I just like to see what people are interested in, and it takes a little bit to know like what your reading preferences are. So I have a pretty good idea of the kind of books that I like to read. So if I find someone who loved a book that I also loved, I want to watch their top 10 favorite books video because there's probably going to be some books on there that I've never read, and they might be ones that I never even took notice of before just because I'd never heard of it. So those are some of my favorite videos to watch on Booktube. And question number 5, what kind of books do I read? So I am a genre snob, and I don't care. I have no intentions of reading genres that I know I don't like just to see if I find a book that is good or whatever. I'm not into that. There are a million books in the genres that I absolutely love that I am never going to read, that because I don't have time. Like, I'm not gonna live long enough to read all of the books available in the genres that I already know I like. So I am not a genre horizon broadener. I don't do that. So my favorite books to read are fantasy, historical fiction, and science fiction. So my favorite kinds of fantasy are, it used to be YA fantasy for a really, really long time. It was YA fantasy, and now it's kind of transitioning more to adult fantasy, which I have not read a lot of, so I don't have a lot of adult fantasy novels, but I am slowly building up a collection and reading them as I can. I wasn't expecting the adult fantasy genre to be so hard to get into, but I'm just having a hard time getting into some of the books, and it's because the writing is just so complex. Like, it makes my brain hurt, which is a good thing. I like it when my brain hurts. It means that I'm reading a decent book. So that's for fantasy. And for science fiction is basically the same thing. I started out reading YA fantasy or YA science fiction, and I think my first foray into that was the Illuminae Files by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. And I absolutely love that series. It's amazing. But again, the YA genre is something that I have been kind of getting away from lately because it's just way too immature for me for the most part. There are some books that are enjoyable for me, but for the most part I just can't handle all of the teenage angst that goes on in them. So I am exiting that genre as far as like reading it constantly, like that being my main genre, and switching to adult fantasy and adult sci-fi. And then as far as historical fiction goes, I'm pretty sure I've always read adult historical fiction because YA historical fiction just isn't really a thing. I think it's like kind of trying to make a comeback, but it's not really. So usually if it's like kind of historical fiction, it also has a fantasy aspect to it. So for the most part, I have been reading adult historical fiction for basically my entire life. So and that's not a genre that I read a lot of. I am definitely a huge fantasy reader, and sci-fi and historical fiction are also really enjoyable for me. I just don't read them as much as I do fantasy. And the last question, number 6, is what has been my favorite video so far? So I think my favorite video that I have ever done was the one where I talked about how I decide to read books or not, and just because I feel like that's literally the question we're always asking ourselves is, do I want to read this book? If it's one you don't own, if it's one you own, if it's one that's been sitting on your shelves forever, if it's one you just got, if it was given to you. That was probably my favorite video I've ever made. I mean, I don't have like a lot because, you know, this is the small booktuber tag, so I don't have a lot of videos, but that one's probably my favorite one because I think it's probably going to be the most helpful and the one that's the most evergreen, because that kind of information is not gonna, like, just because the books I talked about in that video are not gonna be popular forever doesn't mean the underlying thought process behind that video is going to die out. Like, people are always going to find that kind of thing useful. So that's been my favorite video that I've filmed so far in my journey. And that is the end of this tag. So this was a lot of fun actually, and it got me really chatty. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's anything else you'd like to know about me, feel free to ask in the comments, and I will if it's within, you know, certain limits, I will answer the question. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm also curious to know what your guys' favorite genres are. and maybe what your favorite video is that I have done. So let me know the answers to those questions in the comments, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye!